The very first thing that's important to know is that in order to have confidence in communicating, you must realize that every communication involves three communications, three different relationships, and each of those relationships lay the groundwork for the next. Now, we already learned in video 1 that you must have a strong and healthy communication with yourself to lay the groundwork for strong and healthy communication with others. However, even before that, I find it very helpful when you have a strong connection to that which is bigger than you. To help you feel grounded, it's important, of course, to feel confident in who you are and validate your true identity, which is whole, perfect, and complete, like I said earlier. In order to get secure in that belief, it's important to take time to be still and connect with your Creator, God, the universe, whatever your base belief is. We live in a society in which we think it's a badge of honor to be busy, to have many, many things on your to-do list. Very often, it seems if you're not stressed out, people think you're lazy, or that you're not in demand, or that you're not of value. That belief couldn't be further from the truth. Being busy for the sake of being busy is avoidance of your true self. Many people are so busy and stressed because they're afraid of what they'll hear if they slow down. They might hear a voice from childhood telling them they're a lazy bum, or they'll never be good at anything. They might hear a voice saying, "Get up and do something, you worthless piece of crap." Many people are afraid to slow down because the condemning beliefs that we often pick up in childhood come back to us and we don't know what to do with them. So we numb them with alcohol, drugs, or an addiction to busyness. It seems to be a socially acceptable addiction, and most people seem to have it, so it seems almost normal. But I'm here to tell you that it's not normal. Your normal state is one of peace and joy. Your normal state does not involve fear and anxiety. Your normal state is one of already being whole, perfect, and complete. All those condemning thoughts we pick up along the way are instilled by a society or a family or others who didn't know their own true value, so they didn't know how to pass it on. That's all. Now that you know differently, it's time to connect with the one who created you, who knows your core value, and who loves you just the way you are. That's why I strongly recommend taking a few minutes a day to be still and listen to that very distant voice that says you are loved just the way you are. To marinate in total acceptance and love and joy and peace and creativity and abundance. When you marinate in that knowledge and meditate on that a couple of times a day, it's much easier to understand your purpose and value. Once you start to listen and calm down, you actually create new synapses in your brain and you actually can collect your thoughts easier. You shrink the amygdala, that little part in the center of your brain that's kind of your stress center. It's where your fight or flight responses come from. But so often we live in such a constant fight or flight mode that stress hormones are released into our bodies and have nowhere to go. So they cause physical and mental illnesses like depression, anxiety, heart disease, and cancer. We become so addicted to these emotions of fear of failure, fear of success, fear of disapproval, fear of not being good enough, fear of performance, fear of being left out, fear of fear, which of course in turns come out in the way we communicate with one another. We are so focused on our fear and the need to defend the very good-looking and well-constructed facade that we think other people expect to see, that we forget who we really are and why we're really here. We become tongue-tied, self-conscious, because we forget that communication must come from our authentic place where we're already perfect, whole, and complete. If we're to fulfill our true purpose and are really be powerful and effective in our communications. So, in order to be most effective in your communication, learn to take a few minutes, a couple times a day, just breathing in and out, connecting with your Creator. This relationship will then make it easier for you to feel confident in your true identity. The one that's whole, perfect, and complete, remember? Whose only function is to connect with others and share with them who we are. Now notice that I said share who you are, not necessarily what you know. Quite possibly, you've heard the saying that people don't really care what you know until they know how much you care. This is true at home and at business. People, all people, will be more attentive to what you have to say if you're genuinely interested in them. Maybe you're saying to yourself, but I'm not really interested in them. People are annoying. All I want to do is make sales, get my kids to obey, or get my wife to love me, or get someone to vote for me. The truth is, if your goal is selfish and self-focused, your results will be shallow and limited. If your goal is to really connect with people and help their lives be better in some way, then you'll automatically get your needs met, because the energy that you put out is the same kind of energy that you'll get back. If you want your kids to obey, be the kind of parent that they want to emulate. I emphasize this in my book, Peaceful Parenting, 10 Essential Principles. It's available on Amazon.com, which is in the resources section of this course. All the principles that I'm talking about are in that book, and they work whether you're a parent or not. So, if you want to communicate with confidence, spend time connecting through meditation, helping others get their goals met, working through those barriers that keep you stuck, the scary and debilitating beliefs and behaviors, and then connect, knowing that you don't need anything from them. You don't need their approval to be complete. You don't need them as a customer for you to be complete. You don't need their obedience to make you complete. You don't need to prove yourself in any way. When you know these things, you just look at them with full eye contact that says, I'm interested in you. How can I help your life feel more complete? And sometimes the best way to do that is to just listen. You don't have to offer advice. You don't have to fix anything. You just have to listen and mirror their emotion. And we'll learn how to do more of that on the next video.